It's tricky, actually, because I want my kids to understand that they have choice. They're going to top schools in the city. They're playing in top sports clubs. We travel a lot. But at the same time, you want to be careful not to kill desire in them. And that's something that I think I'm doing an okay job at, like that balance of, okay, we're not struggling and we have choice, but at the same time, I don't want you to think that the world is this. And we lived in Mexico for a couple of years to sort of drive that point home. The goal was to get us down there and to live in shacks, like live in a shack. I wanted to have dirt floors. I wanted them to struggle for a couple of years, like all of us, like, man, so that they would be sort of driven to figure things out, to understand that, wow, I don't want, maybe they would, but I don't want to live like this as an adult. I understand that people do, but I want to be driven. I want to make the world a better place. I don't want other people to live like this. I'm going to be a different person because of this experience. But what happened pretty shortly was I wasn't comfortable with that. So we ended up upgrading our living situation to a point where I was comfortable. And that was really shocking to me. My kids are still impacted by living in Mexico. They talk about it all the time. It was during their formative years when they were 4 and 6. So it turned out to be a really good thing in the end for all of us. But yeah, it's just interesting because the world that we want to create for our children is the world that we live in. And we can't separate ourselves from it. Since we were in Mexico, we took a family vacation to Belize. My daughter had dreads at the time. We put dreads in before we left because we didn't want to manage her hair all the time because we didn't know what our life was going to be and how hectic it was going to be. She didn't like them, and she thought that, and dreads were associated with blackness, or rastas, and so forth and so on, which had negative connotations. And I had no idea how to talk to her about it. So we ended up going to Belize. We get into Belize, and everybody we look at has dreads, and everybody's happy, and everybody related to her, like, oh my goodness, look at you, you're so beautiful. It was just the coolest thing ever. A couple of years later, she gets back to the States, and she has to write an essay for class, like, what life experience has transformed you, or has changed you, or has made you happy? And she talked about being in Belize, how I didn't like my dreads, because everybody treated me like a circus act. But in Belize, I saw all these really happy, beautiful black people, and they related to me, and I felt like I had a community, and that really made me happy. And had we not gone to Belize, had we not lived in Mexico, that never would have happened. And I nearly, when I read that, because she didn't tell me she's writing that, her teacher showed it to us. Like, the things you do for your kids, you never know. You never know. So that's it.